All right, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Thank you all so much for being here.
Hey, good
All
evening.
right, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of the Wives Club. The Wives Club has started in 2021. I booked a session with the late, great Kevin Samuels. And since then, we have been sharing his message because even though he is not with us, his message still lives on. We are the older women teaching the young based on his instruction. So we're so happy to be here. Lisa, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Lisa. I am a current wife of 18 years. Happy back for another um, powerful evening of informative information from our wonderful Godfather. So happy to go over another episode.
Absolutely. All right. So, what we do in the Wives Club is we react and respond to Kevin Samuel's videos. He left us quite the catalog. Tonight, we are responding to an episode entitled Three Things That Will Save the Ladies. So, ladies, listen up, ladies of all ages. As you can see, I'm a former wife, married for 10 years, but I always say I got caught up in that modern woman mindset that I could do everything a man could do until I hit the wall. And so learned my lesson and gotten better since then. And that's what I share here. Okay, so as always, we have linked the Kevin Samuels episode in the description. So I highly recommend that you all watch it. It's another short one, not even 15 minutes. And so, if you're unfamiliar with Kevin Samuel's content, he used to break up women, our marketability, if you will, based on our ages. And ladies, there's really no denying this, okay? If you don't believe in science, I don't know what to tell you. But for the purpose of this conversation, and when you listen to Kevin Samuels, for a woman in our prime, that's usually in our early 20s. So it was usually about 18 to 25, 26, early to mid 20s. That's when you have your looks, you have your youth, you have your beauty, you have that snapback, you have all of that. Then he called another age the danger zone because that was the ages between 27 and mid 30s, so 27 to 35. And I can hear him now. He said that's when women need to focus like a laser on the outcomes that they want. Because, ladies, if marriage and family is important to you, it just is true that after 35, it's high risk pregnancy. I married at 25, but we put off having kids. I had them at 32 and 34 for that reason. Okay. And then after 35, Kevin Samuels used to lovingly call it, was it no man's land? I think so. Eek. I've shared here, I'll be 48 next week, so I am way past the wall, but that's the context that we are going to be speaking about today. All right, so when you watch this episode, he was talking to women in no man's land. And basically, that just means at that age, ladies, we are not first choice for marriage and family. Is it impossible? No. Do women get married in later years? Yes. But when you look at how men choose, because we look at relationships differently, ladies, excuse me, we marry for love and companionship. Men marry because they want a wife and family to carry on their legacy and live together under one roof. So it's a huge sacrifice for men. They don't look at it the way we do with the joy and wonder since we were little girls. They look at marriage like, okay, if everybody survives and one of us has to go, I'm willing to take that. So it's a very sober decision for them. So, of course, they're going to choose the best candidate. All right. So Kevin Samuels is saying in this episode that there are three things that will save the ladies, and I'll go ahead and tell you what the three are, and then I want to break them down from our personal perspective. The first one is having an image consultant. The second one, and I might get these out of order, is having a personal trainer, and then the third one is having a matchmaker. All right, danger zone. That's right, Jay Bird. So, if you all knew Kevin, he started his channel talking about style for men, fashion, fragrance, footwear. Those were his things. He also did a lot of consults for women. Some women who booked consults with him wanted the style expertise. So after 35, and ladies, it's harsh, but Kevin said, you have wasted your youth. He says this in the video. Whether you gave your best years to corporate or whether you extended your hot girl summer, which you don't even really need, but anyway, once you're past 35 and your hair's on fire, you didn't use your youth and beauty when you had it. So if you want to be a candidate, you need to expedite the process of selection. You don't need to be out here in your 30s and 40s carrying yourself like you can compete with a woman in her prime. It doesn't make sense and it's not attractive. So, if you're over 35, number one, he said image consultant. And of course, Kevin was an image consultant. So, you could book a session with him, or I've had to hire a style person. But when I take a step back and I look at this one with the image, ladies, it's very important to have an accurate picture of how you show up. A lot of us think we are better looking than we are. I know I'm average. I say I'm a 5 all the time. A lot of us think that we are more marketable, or I can still do that, or I've still got it. Once you're a woman, once you are a mature woman, you really need somebody to help you assess how you show up. And it could be everything from physical to how you speak, to how you carry yourself, your gestures, your style. It's really important so that when you come out here and you're competing, because we are competing, ladies, we want his ring, his covering, his protection. You need to make sure that you're showing up as your best. And if it's been a while for you, I would recommend that you get help from someone who's an expert in that area, not me. What would you say about an image consultant, Lisa?
Yeah, well, I was listening to this and I was like, image consultant, and thinking about what Kevin did, and the intimidation, even to email or call or book an appointment with Kevin and the cost and all that. So I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, if I'm in the situation like say I'm 35 and I'm looking and I'm having these issues, then yeah, I would definitely consider an image consultant, because really, if you think about it, I'm like, okay, what is an image consultant beside what I know about Kevin? I couldn't tell you what image consultant was maybe 3 or 4 years ago because I had no clue and that they were necessary. But listening to Kevin, it makes sense now. So I'm like, okay, an image consultant in my housewife mind. I'm like, okay, an image consultant. Why would I need this? So I started thinking about it, and it's really no different than when you go to therapy and someone says you need therapy, or you need someone to tell you how you're looking out in the world, how people receive you, how people encounter you every day. It's almost like a reflection, if you will, of yourself, and someone just saying, I mean, and Kevin even talked about it in other episodes where he would say, go ask ex-boyfriends or ex-relationships how they received you, or how they encountered you, or how was it after, you know, being around you? What was the result, or what did they take from knowing you for that period of time, and what you can learn from that. So I think with the image consultant, I kind of look to that, and I wouldn't say not do it, because if you're in the danger zone and your hair's on fire, I would, if I was in this situation, and I'm 40, about to be 45 in a month and a half. So I'm like, yeah, if I was looking for a man and this is what I needed to do, then I would definitely consider an image consultant, because what I've been doing for the last, what if you're 35? I'm just using 35 as a basic example. If I'm 35 and I'm doing this, then what I've been doing for the last 10 years with my youth, um, has not been positive. So yes, I really agree with Kevin on this one. I think he was A1A on that.
Yeah, Lisa's right, ladies. And I'm going to touch on something that Lisa said before we move on to number two, the cost. And it is expensive. I mean, if, for those of you all who booked a session with Kevin Samuels, I'll just share with you all, it was $1,000 per hour. So it was an investment. And I think about it often. I went to press that button multiple times and then I chickened out, but I felt so convicted. One episode, he was just kind of like, I can't do this. You know, where are the older women to teach the young? And it just got me, y'all, because I was that woman that was just happy minding my business in my cul-de-sac. And he said, the ones that are happy don't talk. You're right. Because we are comfortable, but I'm a boy mom, two teenagers. And so I do feel I have a heart for young ladies who are trying to get it right, who don't have this coaching. So, older ladies, now here's the thing, if you are at this age, you should be able to prioritize investing in yourself if you want that payoff. And a man is not a given. We are not entitled to that. You are going to have to compete. So we know Kevin is no longer with us, but I've hired a stylist. I have to pay for services to help me improve in the areas where I'm not strong. So, especially ladies, if you have money for the purses and the shoes and the hair and all that other stuff, but you lack personal development, whatever it is for you. I remember Kevin, maybe one of y'all in the chat remembers, Kevin had 4 components for your image. It's not just going on a shopping spree. Of course, it was your, your what he talked about. It was like CD. I remember. I'm so sorry. I think I lost you all. It was spinning for me. But what I was saying is, I remember that Kevin had 4 components for your image, A, B, C, D, and I don't remember what that was. I know. Thank you, Jay Bird. But I remember D was something like digital footprint. So, how you show up online. Ladies, if you want to be out here competing for a man, what does your social media say about you? The internet is forever. Maybe you thought, oh, those travel pictures and oh, that office party is not a big deal. It's a big deal, especially for the caliber of man that you want to come in now in your later years and rescue you from yourself. And I believe C was like communication. Ladies, the way you talk at work or the way you maybe boss people around that you have authority over is not going to work with the caliber of man that you want. You need somebody to help you get a full assessment of where you are so that you can be competitive. All right. So I wanted to talk about that. It is going to be an investment, and you should prioritize that if you wasted your prime years. Okay. So that was image consultant. The second one, please let me know that it's better, y'all. I'm so sorry. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Condemned, please let me know if it's better. I'm sorry, you all. Jaybird said appearance, behavior, communication, and digital footprint. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, so I highly recommend you all just be aware of this and just know, ladies, that for marriage, it's more than just a pretty face. And can you, put that dress and those heels on? A man is looking for a good quality woman to be the feminine asset to his masculine brand. And that is an everyday job. So really take it seriously when you want to be out here considered as a wife. That's what we talk about here, marriage and long term. If you're interested in something casual, you can do that, but that's not the audience that we speak to. So the appearance, we've talked about that, and your behavior. Ladies, it's huge. What you think is cute or funny or trending or whatever, no. Especially if you are a mature woman. Thank you, Condemned. Especially if you are a mature woman. Kevin said we should win because we have wisdom that comes with our years. And if you did waste your youth or whatever you did, you should be able to speak to that with conviction and say, you know what? I really thought going for that partner in the law firm was going to satisfy me, and I neglected prioritizing relationships, but I've learned from that and I'm ready to make it a priority now. You should be able to communicate why you are at this point in life and be prepared to be vetted intensely, because nobody's going to just say, oh, it's no big deal. They are going to ask, what's going on? So be prepared for that. I could go on and on, ladies, but it's really important. So thank you for the A, B, C, and D. All right, let's move to number 2. My struggle. Y'all all know it. If you know anything about me, I love food and femininity. And the Condemned says, when Maggie reach that caloric deficit, she gonna be an adjustable 6. From your lips to God's ears, and I have to be really honest about this, y'all. It's always been a struggle for me. And, cooking and eating and enjoying life, clearly, I've enjoyed it too much. I've made some changes, but this is something that I raise my hand to say, this is not, I haven't prioritized it like I should. It could be, and it will be different for different ladies. So for me, it's the fitness. For you, it could be you have a potty mouth or you're really masculine. I'm naturally nice and more feminine, but I have struggles in other areas. So really getting that clear picture of how you show up. Okay, so the personal trainer. Ladies, as we age, things change, and your body is just not how it used to be. And if you, like me, did not prioritize your fitness, you're going to really have to make that a priority if you want to compete. And so, what Kevin was saying in this is that, again, you need to invest in a personal trainer or get on some type of plan or coaching or regimen that shows you are aware of your physical state and you're intentionally doing something about it. I've been on a weight loss journey. I've made a lot of progress, but I got a ways to go. One thing I will say to encourage you all is that men give a lot of credit for effort if it's consistent. Not that you're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do this in the new year," but when my guy calls me and I'm like breathing a little hard, he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm on the exercise bike." He's like, "Oh, look at you." Men really appreciate if you actually put action to your work. And you may not be there yet, but if you are under some type of regimen, whatever it is, whether it's a meal plan or a personal trainer or a weight loss coach or whatever, especially if we're older ladies, you need to show that you can come under some type of discipline because men, to reach the maturity that they have to say no to a lot of things that they want. And to be a husband, they have to say no to a lot of things that they want. My man tells me all the time, he's like, you ladies talk about getting the car that we want in our 50s is a midlife crisis. What you don't understand is that this is the car that we've wanted since we were a little boy. But we sacrificed for the family. We sacrificed for private school tuition. We sacrificed for the mortgage. We sacrificed for your health care. We put what we wanted on the back burner so that the family can have. So women, you really have to think about marriage and long term. Men are restricting themselves. So if you can't push back from the table, but you expect them to sacrifice everything for you, it's going to be a hard sell. So that was number 2, that personal trainer. You've got to stay on top of that, me included. What would you say, Lisa?
Yeah, I kind of turned. I didn't change it. Personal trainer is a big one, but I kind of flipped it a little bit because for my situation, not just physical health, physical taking care of your body, but well, yeah, personal training, physically taking care of your body, but health wise too. Your mental health, your if you got any kind of health conditions, we're all 20 something and young and free. Not everybody, but for the most part we are. And we can do a lot of things when we're younger, but you won't be doing it when you're 35, when you're 40. I can tell you right now. So not taking care of your physical health and your health in general, with things you eat, the things you put into your body. I remember when my grandma telling me when I was in college and going to church with her and stuff, she was like, "Girl, don't be eating like a man in front of a man. I know you like to eat, but don't be eating like a man in front of a man when you go out, when you're dating and stuff." She always told me that. And I never ate a lot, but I have cousins and siblings that might eat a little bit more than me. But she would always tell us that, don't eat like a man, eat like a lady. And I always remembered that. And I remember that dating my husband. And even now, I'm like, I don't need to eat 2 big pieces of chicken. So just little stuff that stuck with me, things that my grandma would tell me. In cooking, you got to cook for your man. You got to cook for yourself, especially if you're in college or a young woman. So cooking is also work. So anytime you're cooking, you're working. And like I always think about Thanksgiving and the holidays because I'm cooking a lot. You're cooking throughout the whole day. And when you do sit down to eat, you've been smelling the good food and everything all day. You don't really want to eat when it's time to eat. Not that you don't, but if you don't get that help. But anyway, my point is cooking is work. So you got to do some work to cook and prepare and plan. So that's part of it. So you shouldn't be gobbling it all up either. The other thing is, what I say, don't eat like a man. And I'm sorry, y'all, I had some notes and I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything. But just and taking care of your health, taking care of your health young, not doing drugs, not drinking too much, not partying too much, because stuff like that catches up to you. I'm someone that had childhood diabetes, so that caught up with me. And that, even though I got married young to my husband, that caught up with me later in life. And these things can catch up with you. And if you're 35 and you haven't been watching your weight, or you've been eating like crazy, hot girl summer, whatever you're doing. I mean, a lot of us back in the day would be out dancing and stuff, but some of us is the other, whatever the case may be. If you're not taking care of yourself, you don't have time to date if you're always at the doctor's office or always doing whatever to get healthy, to get in shape, or having to have surgery or whatever it is. And the other thing I will say, because I know it's a big deal nowadays, is the BBWs, the getting these, going across the country, the border, and doing stuff. You're risking your health. You're already healthy. Whatever God gave you, work on it, go to the gym. But when you go somewhere else, you put your health at risk, and you don't know what you're injecting, or you're not paying the ultimate price to get the best, like Kim K or whoever else. And then you got to upgrade these things 5 years later. So when he talked about maintaining your health, I always look at it as not just eating and staying right in the gym. It is eating and staying right in the gym, but it's also how you want to look 10 years, in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, with your family, your husband, your kids. So that's how I took it. So I would just say to y'all, with all this stuff going on, it's all in the media and everything. That's what I worry about most, is people getting these surgeries and stuff and regretting it and transforming and all of that. Do it the natural way, do it the right way, do it the healthy way.
Yeah, I really love that. And thank you for sharing, Lisa. I'm going to come to what you all say in the chat in just a moment. But I love that Lisa talked about overall health. Yes, he talked about personal trainer. But ladies, again, for those of us over 35, we shouldn't have these lingering issues. Or if you know there's an issue, you should be on some type of regimen to take care of it. So when a man meets you at that later age, you're wife ready. He doesn't have to drag you. First of all, he's not going to, because why would he put that effort into someone older who has not used all this time to learn the lesson on how to take care of herself? My guy tells me all the time, if I'm gonna have to train you or get you on the program, I might as well get somebody younger. So that's how they think, ladies. Be mindful of that. But I love that. If you have mental health struggles, if you like to drink a little bit too much, if you like to eat a little bit too much, if you like to do other things, get that cleaned up and get it behind you. This needs to be what you used to do, not anything that anybody has to convince you of. Rodney says there are no shortcuts to be fit. It's true. It's true, y'all. And there's always a fad diet. There's always a drug that's in the news. People are taking this and that. And then a few months later or years later, you hear about side effects. I am not a doctor and I am not the food police. Y'all know clearly I like to eat, but you want to make sure that you're aware of this, and none of those excuses like I'm big boned or running my family. I like to eat. It is a problem and I need to work on it every single day. That goes a lot farther, especially with men, than tap dancing around whatever you're trying to cover up. They can see, because believe me, they've been studying you a lot longer than you knew they were watching you. Rodney says, men want to find a woman who has some degree of personal discipline. You hear it, ladies. Absolutely. Because what that says is, okay, this is a woman who has already imposed some type of discipline on herself, which means when a man says, no, we're not going to be able to do this, or I hear you, but we're going to have to delay it, or whatever it is, you're not going to have a tantrum because you've always given in to all of your desires and nobody's ever told you no. So telling them, oh yeah, I'll do this when, I'll get in line when, I'll be submissive when, I'll start a diet program when, I'll start exercising when, a man is looking at you like, uh-huh, Really? No, they're not going to believe that. Let me scroll back up and see what you're saying. Rodney says, we all have struggles. And that's true. Nobody's expecting perfection here, but ladies, especially ladies, us ladies over 35, you really need to wow a man. They're going to give grace to the younger women because they just don't have life experience. So you need to use that to your benefit and really have your stuff together.
Yeah,
Um,
they are going to give grace. And I remember my husband saying that. He's like, I remember, when I met you, you was in the gym, you was doing this. And I would say like it took about 2 years after I got married, and the weight started, creeping on, that happiness weight, but it was still weight, no less. And he was like, I know you have this mindset. I know you have this, and he had to remind me to kick it in gear. But then they're going to give you grace, like Maggie said, but it's only going to last so long. So
No, that's a great point. Jay Bird says fitness is a struggle for us guys too. I've made progress from 270 pounds to about 195. That is amazing. And I'm about to start with a trainer inspired by KF. That is awesome. Congratulations. Believe me, I know. I know it is a struggle, and every day I'm down 80, but I need to keep going. It's difficult, but I think the fact that we have awareness about it, what I'm trying to avoid, ladies, are you're like, I woke up like this, I'm fine. Like, dismissing it. You don't want to do that. So make sure you're aware of it and you're addressing it. Rodney has a question here. He says, is femininity in competition different than masculinity in competition when it comes to relationships? I'm not sure I understand. I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to answer what I think this means, and then Rodney, you can clarify. So, Kevin used to call it the marketplace for dating. Um, Everything is a competition, and I know a lot of ladies used to, reject that when he said that, but it's true, ladies. Even when you have a man, or when you get attention, can you keep him? Are you continuing to doing the thing? Are you continuing to do the things that make him choose you over and over again? And femininity is a wonderful competitive factor, because if you look at pop culture today, I wouldn't describe most women as feminine. So this is a way that you can stand out. And ladies, this is a skill that you can learn. So if every woman in your family is loud and overbearing, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be bossy. You don't have to be, a nag or whining. You can absolutely be soft and sweet. It's a decision that you have to make, and then you walk it out. So I'm not sure if I understand the question. Lisa, do you have a response to this one?
I wouldn't say it's a competition between how feminine you can be to how masculine a man can be. I don't know if that's the way he was going with the question, but I wouldn't want to be. I mean, I'm always going to try to beat my husband in being more feminine in any regard. So I want to be the most feminine person he knows. So, but as far as masculinity, I want my husband, or I want my man to be masculine. I'm not going to be like, oh, that's toxic. You can't. No, that's just so I can't. I don't even like talking about that. But anyway, I don't really see I'm not understanding the competition, but I do want my man to be masculine, and I want to be feminine for my husband, and I don't want to switch that around.
Absolutely. So, Rodney, I'm sorry. Yeah, Rodney, if you want to clarify, we'd be happy to answer. What does the condemn say? He says BBLs are unnatural and life threatening. I don't recommend it for any woman. Get that tail in the gym. Ladies, you hear it. And don't let these videos and snatched waists and unnatural curves make you think there's anything wrong with you. Let me tell you a little secret about men that I've learned that my man told me. They appreciate all kinds of women. They see beauty in all forms. So you don't have to be any type of cookie cutter anything. This is about you being the best version of you. I'm a little nerdy, I'm a little quirky. You may have other little ticks and clicks. We all do. Some of us are different proportions, bigger up top, smaller in the bottom, bigger in the bottom, smaller up top. But it's really about being the best version and healthy version of yourself. So that's going to look different. I don't have a Coke bottle. I'm bigger in top and smaller on the bottom, but I can do better than what I have been doing. So don't beat yourself up about it. And especially older ladies, men know and expect us to age. So don't contort your 30 and 40-year-old body into trying to look like a 20-year-old. It's dangerous and it's not worth it. It's just my 2 cents. Okay, the last one, and I'd love to know what you all say. There were only three. So the three things that Kevin Samuel said: if you have wasted your youth and you're over 35, get an image consultant, get a personal trainer, and the last one was get a matchmaker. Excuse me. This one is huge, ladies, and I know, again, this could be an investment. I know there are services that do this, but what I wanted to call out and what Kevin Samuels taught me when I was listening to this. So if you're on the marketplace and you're used to men approaching, they may still, if you show up as young and have a good figure, but let any older woman tell you the phone is not going to ring, and you're not going to get those compliments as much as you did in your youth. It's normal. What do they say? An 18-year-old is born every day, or there's somebody turning 21 every day, or something like that, meaning there's always going to be competition. It would be foolish of you to try and eliminate that. It just is what it is. But by this age, hopefully you have prioritized relationships and you got your one, because that's what Kevin said, all you need is one, and get on down the path, right? Okay, so if you have not and you're out here single and you're older, you really should consider your network, or put yourself in the type of social settings where you can find or be found by and be introduced to the caliber of men that you want for marriage or long term, which means get off these dating apps, get out of the club, get at all the little places you used to run in the streets and all that stuff. No, it's not attractive. So this is going to be slower for you. You're not going to have all that attention. But I think about myself. If I ever found myself single again, since the divorce, I've been in a long-term relationship with a 1% man. So this is where a lot of this has come from, because I've had to learn someone from my childhood. And then I reconnected and I was like, ooh, I got a lot of work to do. But hopefully by this age, if you haven't prioritized relationship, let's say you prioritized career, you should have clubs, organizations, maybe it's faith-based, maybe it's school, alumni associations, any of these places that you have been spending your time. I would speak one-on-one to connections that I've made and say, something like, well, I found myself, at this age, I still have a lot of love to give. I would love, a second chance at, relationship. This is what I'm looking for. If you know anyone that could be a potential match, please make an introduction, something like that, and use your network, which means hopefully you have built relationships with those people. If you get to this age, ladies, and all you know are the fun boys and the fun girls, it's going to be even harder for you to crack into these type of arenas, because the men are going to be asking, so what have you been doing? And I'm going to say, you better have a good excuse for why it took you this long, because they are going to ask and you're not going to be able to sweep it underneath the rug. And like I tell my consults, because I do consults outside of this, I'm sure you had plenty men approach you when you were in your prime. And for whatever reason, you shot them down. Maybe you thought there would be another train coming. But now you got to get in line like everybody else. And you may have to get at the back of the line. So you don't get to jump up and say, I'm ready now. I'm ready. I'm ready. You got to work and you have to show why they need to overlook everybody else and choose you. What would you say to that one, Lisa?
Yeah, you got to use your network that like she said, you should have been building for the last 10, 15 years. But I remember Kevin used to say, what I think he called it city commerce or city hall. Like at the end of the year, your
Chamber of
city,
Commerce. Mm.
yes, thank you, Chamber of Commerce, they would have something um, at the end of the year where you like a mixer or a holiday. Like this time of year, they have things going on. Like I'm a realtor, and we have end of the year parties where you can go mingle with different people in the real estate industry and stuff. So stuff like that. Um, also if you're of this age, you should have friends who are married. You should have coworkers who are married, and getting with them, letting them hook you up or say, I've got someone I'd like you to meet. Um, those type of relationships and meeting people that way. Um, if you're a church person and you go to church and you have, I know Kevin said the men aren't in the church like he did say in this video, but married men are, and they know where other men are. But just like, and Kevin's always given us great places to meet these men. But those are just a few examples that I thought were pertain to this particular topic. And let's see, what was the other thing? But you got to shoot your shot too, ladies. You got to be out there. I wouldn't say, definitely wouldn't say these apps and stuff, but you've got to put yourself out there. You've been out there, and it's not time to be scared now. So shoot your shot, like he's always said to. I'm gonna leave that one there.
I love that. We're going to come to you all in the comments and see what you say. Those were our 3 points from Kevin's video, the 3 things that will save the ladies, especially us older ladies that are beyond the wall, which is after 35. All right. You are in no man's land. Men are not looking for us. So we've got to make ourselves visible in the right way. Now, one of the things that Lisa said, if you've gotten to this age, you should have friends. Yes, but ladies, the caliber of friends that you have, you need to be very selective in all things, especially if you're at this point in your life. If you are surrounded by other single boss babe, men ain't you know what kind of women, it is time for you to pull away and go into your own version of monk mode. Kevin used to talk about this a lot with men. They need that 10 years between like 18 and 30 to really make themselves the caliber of man that can command the respect that is required today. Because often, Lisa and I married young, but a lot of women aren't really willing to wait for a man to build himself. I'm not saying that you need to cut your friends off completely, but when it comes to relationship, my advice would be consider the source. So if they are not currently in the type of relationship that you want, or the relationship that you want to have, or not aligned with you, or every time you bring a nice man around, they're picking him apart, or they're shooting their shot, or they're saying things about men and putting stuff in your ear, that is not the type of matchmaking that you want. So here, I always love to give you ladies tangible tips. Here's something that I would recommend. Go ahead and craft what you want to say to not give any information. Girl, you dated anybody lately? Girl, it's just, I'm trying, but no update yet. You'll be the first to know. What about you? Okay, so make it your own. Find a way if you want to still meet them for girls' brunches and all that stuff. But ladies, when we women get together, relationships are going to get caught up. Relationships are going to get brought up. So you don't want to get caught up in being flat-footed and they're like, whatever happened to so-and-so? So zip it until you're at a point where you all are an established relationship, if you even want to share that. But a lot of the women, what did Kevin Samuel say? Single women keep women single. Oh, Jay Bird, thank you so much for the $50. He says 3 things is a powerful message, but I fear that young women who would benefit most are the least likely to listen. Careers, girls' trips, fun with friends, the temptations are seductive, and too many women are led astray until it's too late. You're right. All we can do is try. The Wives Club was started in 2021, coming up on 2024 now, because we wanted to help women, but we know we can't fix everything. This is our attempt, but I will say this, the internet is forever, and hopefully some woman somewhere hears this and makes a different choice. What would you say to that, Lisa?
Yeah, the internet is forever. And, the reason I'm here, the reason Maggie's here, the reason we do this is because there's women out there who want to hear this, who need to hear this, and we're a resource for them. So if it's only a handful, it's a handful that want to get married. So we're here to, provide them that support and stuff. So right now, this is this is the time, and this is what they want to listen to. Get back, please. Excuse me, y'all. But yeah, I mean, Kevin was right on with this, and I know people are still listening. And the holiday season is coming up. Your family's gonna be saying, well, we're gonna talk about this in a few weeks anyway. But family's gonna be saying who you dating, or are you got somebody from last year? All this gonna come up, and we just want everybody in a different situation come this time next year. We want you wearing your apron, serving your man, serving your fiance. We want you engaged. So that's all. I mean, that's all I can say to that. We just here to support those that are looking, those that need the help, and those that want the help. And I don't, whether you're in the danger zone or you're a young lady that just needs to hear it because nobody's explained it for you, or since Kevin's been gone, nobody broke it down in a way that is more palatable to you. So that's what we're here for. So come on back.
Absolutely. All right. So as we wrap it up, I want to go through you all's comments. And ladies, look, our heart is to help. It is, winter is not coming. Winter is here. We're getting ready for the holidays. We hope everybody has, yes, a fantastic Thanksgiving. By the time we meet again, it'll be Thanksgiving, which y'all know we're going to roll into Christmas and then New Year's. And this is a time that a lot of us look forward to. If you've prioritized relationship, hopefully you're celebrating with those that you love. But a lot of women, I had a consult yesterday with someone who is like over 40, and she said, I never thought I would get to this point, never married, no kids, just had another birthday coming up on the holidays alone, because she keeps messing it up because she kept thought there'd be another one coming. So ladies, heed the warning. What does Jay Bird say? Thank you for the $50. That is incredibly generous of you. You all don't have to even be here, but as you can see in the ticker, we are supported and protected by the men, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jay Bird. Jaybird the third says, I need to find a good matchmaker in my area. I'm beginning to think it might be my only hope. I have heard this and it makes me so sad. I remember like the way we were coming up, you stayed in your community, you grew up with people, you met people out and about, started conversation. And that's, if we like each other, it was simple. It's so complicated now. And I'm sorry about that. But yes, oftentimes men will use matchmakers, ladies, because they don't want to deal with the foolishness and they don't have the time because they're out here getting it. They're slaying the dragons. They're building their empire. They're creating the life that they want for themselves. They just need a woman to get on their program. So that could definitely be an option. Let's see what else y'all are talking about.
I had a question because I know Kevin did used to say on one of his lives, he was saying, matchmakers were quitting, like a lot of the female matchmakers that we had, or that maybe 2-3 years ago when Kevin was talking about them, that they were getting fed up with the attitudes and the response, and just couldn't. They couldn't find the ladies, nobody. So they're just like, I'm just getting out of this whole business altogether. I really don't know who we have now. The people that are trying to do like what Kevin used to do online. I wouldn't call that matchmaking. I call that more advertising. But y'all can watch these advertising shows and just see what not to do, what your competition is. So as long as you can put yourself ahead of the game of what's out there or what's trying to be out there, that's giving you a chance already. So you know what not to do, what not to say, what not to present. But I really don't have advice as what matchmaker to tell y'all to go to, but I'm sure they're out there. You're just gonna have to, find reputable ones if you're gonna use them. But like Maggie said, the men are using them. The men are doing something, unless they're going passport bros. But other than that, if they're looking here, they're looking. And unfortunately, it's just our louder ones, the obnoxious ones that get the most attention. But they're out there, and I have faith, and I believe it's possible. So
Absolutely, it's possible. But ladies, Lisa's right. The female matchmakers that are retiring is because they vet the women to try and find you a suitable match, and the women were rejecting the men that were brought to them. Oh, he's not this tall. Oh, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. And they were fed up with it. So just know, ladies, when you go to a matchmaker, it's going to be part of that assessment all the way down to your financials and your background and your reputation, ladies. It's important, all right? So don't put yourself in a position if you're not ready to be properly vetted. What does Rodney say? I enjoyed your responses, ladies. Your perspective, Miss Maggie, about accepting the choosing process is enlightening to me. Keeping our competitive edge is important in our relationships. Yes, ladies, Kevin Samuels used to say this all the time. Women, I think one of the biggest mistakes I see women make, the leverage that you have in dating does not carry over in relationships. Women control access to sex, men control access to relationships. So in your 20s, when all the men are turning heads and those tongues are wagging and you have all that attention, a lot of women let that get to their head and they're just like, oh, I've got it. You're turning men down left and right because they don't really have their stuff together. They're still kind of growing into themselves. They haven't really, sorted out their like social skills and their manly presence. And if you haven't used that and found one and got on down the path, like Kevin said, wait till a man is 35 plus. He has his home, he has his finances, he has his social circle, he has his job or his business, and now he's looking for a suitable mate. And you think you're going to run his choosing process? No, ma'am, no, sir. So I'm just telling you, ladies, dating and relationships are very different. What does the condemned say? They got to leave the streets, but so many women love it there. I want to disagree, y'all. I cannot believe that women actually enjoy that. I think they think they're living their best life, but ladies, that's not where you want to be. I believe you're sold a lie. Rodney says networking is a vital part of a meaningful relationship. It is. And ladies, that networking carries through your relationship. You are going to be his better half. You have the keys to the safe, the keys to the kingdom. You sign his name. You are his missus. So you need to make sure that your reputation is squeaky clean.
he
Ronnie
gave us
says
great
60 days.
examples. Kevin
Yeah,
gave us great examples too. He gave us videos of Diane Carroll, Ethic, I can't say her name, Eartha
Eartha
Kitt.
Kitt.
He showed us these ladies like they was killing it back in the day, and then he showed us their later in life and their regrets. Or, Eartha Kitt, she was just gone. She was just saying what, but you could tell he had that was a great video he did. Show, and Diane Carroll was very honest about the wasted youth that she just threw men away. She had the opportunity several times, several marriages to do things the right way, and she just um, for whatever reason, it didn't work. And Eartha Kitt was just in denial to the end. But, these beautiful, wonderful, extraordinary career women, and I wouldn't say them on the streets like what people are doing now, but still, um, hot girl summer can't last your whole life. And what kind of life, when you look back, it's not going to look like your grandma or your great grandma's or, big mama's life. It's not going to look like that. It's going to look empty. And it's I think Kevin just gave us so many examples of what not to do, what it's going to look like. We don't have to compare it to now. We can look at the past, and the past always tells us what the future is going to look like.
I agree. And ladies, look at your family. Look at the older women in your family. Do you look at them with awe and admiration and say, man, I want 50 years just like that? Or are they the last thing that you want to become? Be mindful of that. What does Jay Bird say? I'm building a playlist of your videos for the women I reach out to. Talking about your discussions is one of the ways I plan to vet them. Uh-oh. Well, ladies, the men are here and they're always watching. And yeah, I mean, Kevin Samuel's message still lives on. We started, the Wives Club was started to give a lady's perspective, but these are all Kevin Samuel's talking points because we respond to his video. So I highly encourage you to watch the video in the description. Jay Bird also says it catches up with you. That's for sure. I'm 47 and surprised at how quickly it went. Absolutely. I'll be 48 next week or after Thanksgiving. Ladies, there's nothing like aging gracefully. I haven't done everything right. Fitness is a struggle for me, but I've prioritized relationships. Met my ex husband at 18. He was my college boyfriend, married after college, married for 10 years, had two boys. I don't regret it, but I got caught up in Modern Woman. So I fixed it after divorce. And then my second relationship has been another long term with a 1% man. Couldn't be happier. So I look forward to celebrations and birthdays and events because I prioritize relationships, and you can too. We will all get older. How do you want to get older? What does Ebony say? Ebony's here. She says, I've been telling my friends to find a therapist. I really don't have answers for my girls. I love them. Yes. And ladies, that's a great point. You are not responsible for helping your women land a relationship. You can love them and sometimes love them from afar, but especially if you are still on your own search. Kevin used to say all the time, women would call in and say, well, my girlfriend or my sister. He's like, what does your husband say? What are you doing? Do not waste your time. When I tell you, when my man says wrap it up, I wrap it up. All right. So, ladies, don't fall in that trap.
Can't
All
help
right.
nobody else if you're not putting on your just like they say on the airplane, put your mask on first. You can't help nobody if you can't breathe.
Exactly. All right, two last comments here. Jaybird says, absolutely. Meeting people used to be so simple, but now it's a labyrinth mess at best and a minefield at worst. Oh, goodness. Well, we're trying. We are the older women trying to help the young. And I know it's difficult. I'm so glad I'm not out here, but ladies, you can stand out by prioritizing relationships and working on these three things. Jaybird says the Passport Bros route makes me nervous. It all feels like such a scam. I live in a smaller town. I'd much rather find someone local. And look, I love all of our brothers, and I would never tell anybody to sit here and suffer. Um, if you have to find love overseas. But I bet you 10 times out of 10, okay, maybe 9 times out of 10, men who now go overseas tried with somebody here and the women were not suitable. And so they didn't want to wait. And ladies, they're not going to wait. The men that you poo poo on now that you think, oh, he'll just keep waiting on me, he will not. He will find someone to get on his program. So I don't begrudge anybody. When a man is ready, ladies, they move like they're ready. And you need to recognize that. And like my man told me, y'all got to be ready right now. They don't have time for you to get it together. You need to be using your youth and beauty to get it together. Because when a man is ready, it will surprise you how quickly he will move to lock it down. If he's not ready, you need to know that as well.
That's right. And
And
if he live in another state and he say I'm ready, y'all been long distance or whatever, he's saying let's move to here, you better go.
go, go.
You're gonna regret it. You're gonna be watching some other lady living your life.
I love it. The condemned says, I want to show you ladies content to the women in my family, but their heads might explode. They are of the pseudo masculine types. Well, we appreciate you all sharing. And we know this Kevin's content was very polarizing, but it was true. So I say, allow people to get there on their own. We will never tell people you have to do anything. We are just saying, warning, iceberg right ahead. If you want marriage and family, you need to prioritize it now. We will always be here. The Wives Club is here for you all on Fridays. We love this conversation with you, and we will be back for another episode. Thank you so much, Jaybird the Third, for the support. Lisa, do you have any words to close us out?
No, no, just get on his page. If he say he ready, you better lock it down. Cause I will tell you, y'all be watching people life on Facebook, Instagram. I watch people too. I watch old boyfriends. You don't act like you don't do it, but you say you watch. He say he want to move somewhere, and he gonna have a new wife, and she gonna be living your life, and you gonna be mad. It is so true.
And on that note, Jaybird says, yes, thank you, Rodney. We appreciate you so much. Jaybird says, yes, I'm building a house. I'm up for promotion at work. I'm leveling up my fitness. And when I get it all lined up in the next few years, I'll be ready and looking. Ladies, that is your hint. Don't wait for them to be at the finish line. Go ahead and get in there now so you can be primed and ready. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate you. Please share this content if it's helpful. Thank you for supporting, watching. We will be back for another episode of the Wives Club. And until then, you all enjoy and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy it. Go ahead and eat on Thanksgiving. All right. We'll see you all next time.